Hi, and welcome to today's yoga practice. We're going to focus on breathing as usual at the start of the practice, and today we're going to start that in a low lunge position. So you're going to bring your right foot in front, your left leg stays back, and we're going to stretch out through this left side of the rib cage whilst we're breathing. So you can keep your right hand on your right leg, reach the left arm up, and then we're going to reach up towards the ceiling a little bit more. So we're creating space. And then we can rest that left arm on our head. And from here, take your right hand and place it on the lower left rib cage. And you're going to breathe in through your nose. And think about sending the air down deep into that lower left rib cage. And as you breathe out, notice the rib cage recoil and relax back. 2 more breaths here. Focusing on breathing down deep into the left lower rib cage. And then move your hand up to the middle of the left side of the rib cage and then breathe into that left side. Focus on breathing into the hand. In through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. And just notice if the area feels a little bit stiff or stuck. Or if you can feel it moving quite clearly, that is great. And then move your hand up towards the left armpit area, so that upper left rib cage. And again, think about breathing into that hand. So sending our air up high onto the left side of the rib cage. And then reach that left hand up towards the ceiling, right hand back on your thigh, and reach up and over to the right. So really opening up that left side of the rib cage if it's comfortable for you. And then as we breathe out, we're going to place that left arm on the ground. Now, if you feel quite tight, just fingertips, or if you feel comfortable, flatten the hand on the ground. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to slide the right hand along the left arm, up to the left shoulder, up to your breastbone, and we're going to turn to the right. So you're turning towards the leg in front. And then you can keep that right hand on the breastbone if that's enough for you, or you can straighten the arm out and reach it up towards the ceiling and see if you can look towards the right hand. 2 breaths here. On our next breath out, you're going to bring that right hand back down across your breastbone, across the left shoulder, and all the way down to the floor. We're going to press into the feet and come back up, and we're going to swap the legs over. So you're going to have your left leg in front this time. You're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and take your left hand and place it on the right rib cage. You're going to breathe in through your nose and focus on sending the breath into the lower right rib cage. I'm just going to face you in case you want a visual. That right hand can rest on the head. 2 more breaths here, breathing down deep into the right lower rib cage. And again, noticing if one side feels stiffer than the other. And just taking note and starting to listen to your body. Move the hand up to the middle of the right rib cage and then breathe into that hand again. So we're opening up the rib cage all the way from the bottom up to our armpit. And then moving it up again into that right armpit area, breathing into that right upper rib cage. Just taking note if it all moves well or if certain areas feel stiff and it's hard to feel them move. Then we're going to reach that right arm up. Left hand goes on your thigh to balance you. Reach it up and over to the left. So you're opening up that right side. Then we're going to bring that right hand back down to the ground. Take your left hand, slide it along the right arm, across your breastbone, and turn your chest to the left, so towards the front leg. If you feel quite tight here, go onto your fingertips or place your hand on like a book or a block. If you feel comfortable, you can reach that left arm up, but you should be able to see it, so don't throw it back too far. So look up towards the left hand, and you're here for 3 breaths. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Then bring that hand right back down to the ground, and we're going to come into a seated position. So sit your bum on your heels, and we're going to start off with a single shoulder roll. So palms rest down. This is a nice easy one, but effective. Head is stacked over your chest, which is stacked over your hips. And then lift that right shoulder up and roll it back. And you're going to do that 2 more times with the right shoulder. Just take note of any clicking, clunking, tightness. Again, you're just given this time to listen to your body and figure out what is tight for yourself, or maybe not moving as smoothly as it could. And then change direction. Lift the shoulder up, roll it forward and down. And you're going for 1 more. So moving from the right shoulder, we're going to move into a stretch for the right hip. So you're going to come up into high kneeling and take your right leg out to the side. And then from here, let's move back a little bit. From here, you're going to have the inner edge of your foot on the ground. We're going to fold at your hips and bring your hands onto the ground. Fingertips if you feel too tight. From here, we're going to roll our bum back towards the back heel, and this leg that's out straight is going to rotate so the knee and the toes point up. You should feel a stretch through the back of the hamstring, inner thigh, and then walk the hands forward. Now my back foot, the toes are tucked underneath. They're not flat on the ground. And we're just going to rock in and out of this 2 more times. And just notice how this feels, if it's very tight for you, or if it feels quite easy, that's great. It's a good little one to get the hip joint moving and rotating, even if the muscles aren't too tight around your inner thigh and hamstring. Bring that right leg back in, sit our bum back on our heels, and let's focus on this left shoulder, lifting it up towards the ceiling, rolling it back and down. And going for 2 more. And just taking note if there's a difference between your right and left shoulder. Is one smooth and easy to control? Is the other one a bit clunky and jumpy? And again, just learning about your body and listening to it. And then change the direction. Last one. Then we're coming back up into high kneeling, and we're going to kick the left leg out to the side this time. All the weight's on the inner edge of the foot. You're going to fold at your hips, plant your hands on the ground. And then from here, tuck the back toes underneath so that heel is up high on the back foot. Move back, bum towards that back heel, and rotate the legs so the knee and the toes point up. And then walk the hands forward. And you're going to rock in and out of this 3 more times. And then bring that knee back underneath. Sit your bum on your heels. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Roll them back and down. Both shoulders together. 1 more in this direction. And then swap over. From here, we're going to activate our hip muscles before we go into our little yoga flow. And stretch out the feet. So tuck your toes underneath. See if you've got little bent little toes. See if you can pull them and flatten them out a little bit. If they curl underneath, like mine. Sit your bum on your heels. We're going to get our spine in neutral. So a little bit of a dip in your lower back. And then chest over your pelvis. So not reaching forwards. And then from here, have your hands on your hips. And we're going to tighten our bum muscles. You might feel them under your thumb. If your hands are on your hips and your thumbs are on your bum. Tighten your bum, drive the hips up and forward. And then you're going to fold at the hips to come back. So just learning to move from the hips, keep our lower back in neutral. Get the hips doing all the control and the work, so our lower back doesn't have to work as hard. Now we're going to add in some hand movements. So go up, inhale to reach the arms up. Think about them reaching up towards the ceiling as our tailbone lowers down towards our heels. So a little bit of a stretch out for the spine. Drive the hips forward, engage the glutes, lift the arms up, and then think about that tailbone lowering down like it's a heavy weight going down towards your heels. And last 2, drive the hips forward, reach the arms up, and lower all the way down. Last one. So just waking up hip and shoulder mobility before we go into our flow. And the arms come all the way down. From here, we're going to go into standing at the top of our mat. So bring the left foot and then the right foot forward. We're going to breathe in, reach our arms overhead, and as you breathe out, soften the knees and then fold forward towards the ground. Inhale, press your hands into your shins and lift up halfway. Your breastbone and your gaze is looking ahead slightly. And as you exhale, fold forward. You're going to inhale to come all the way up into standing. We're going to shift your weight to your left leg. Pick your right foot up and slide it towards the back of the mat. We're going to plant the right foot down at an angle here. So it's pointed out to the edge of the mat slightly. Your front leg, your knees over your heel, second toe pointing ahead. So this is warrior 2. Now we're going to get our trunk over our hips and pelvis. Bring our hands to our chest. Think about lifting our chest up gently. And then we're going to, if it's comfortable, reach the arms out. If you've anything wrong with your shoulders, keep your hands on your chest. Reach the arms out, pull the little fingers back. And here you are in your warrior 2. So breathing in, thinking about the fingers reaching long, and breathing out. Focus on pressing down through your feet so you're stable base. One more breath here, getting used to the pose. Change your foot position if it feels uncomfortable on anything. And then we're going to hinge from our hips. So let's bring our hands to our hips to make sure we hinge from the hips. We're going to hinge from our hips so our trunk tips over the front leg. Then you're going to place your left arm on your left thigh and reach your right arm up past your right ear. See if you can straighten it out. And you're here for 3 breaths. Try not to collapse or fall onto that left thigh. Think about pressing yourself away from it almost. And then bring the hands back to the hips. Come upright a little. And from here, we're going to see if that left leg if we can challenge the muscles in it to support you a little. And we're just going to press off the back foot ever so lightly. And you again have your hands, your thumbs on your bum muscles and see if you can feel them turn on and activate. And if they don't force it the first day you're doing this practice. We're all going to meet back in warrior 2. So hands on the chest, reach the arms out nice and long, and you can look forward over your left fingertips. Pull the little fingers back. And you're here for 2 breaths. Then bring the hands to the hips. We're going to come back up to the front of the mat. Inhale to reach the arms overhead. Exhale, soft knees, fold forward. Inhale to lift the head and the chest. Exhale to fold forward. On your next breath in, press through the feet. Use your hands if you need to. Come all the way back up. You're going to shift your weight into the right foot. You're going to slide the left foot back and plant it at an angle so the toes are pointing out towards the edge of the mat. I'm just going to change position so I'm not facing away from you. You're going to have your hands on your chest over a breastbone over your pubic bone is a good little mark, so it's not falling forward. We're going to lift the elbows up to shoulder level and pull them back behind us. This might be enough if you have a sore shoulder. Keep the arms like this. Otherwise, reach the arms out. Reach out through the fingertips, and you can look out over your right fingers on this one, grounding down through the right heel. 2 breaths here. Every time you breathe in, reaching the fingers long, and as you breathe out, feel your feet press into the ground. Then we're going to bring our hands to our hips, and we're going to fold at the hips so our trunk folds to the right. So we're folding at that right hip. Place your right forearm on your right thigh, and then reach the left arm up past your left ear. Opening up that side body again in this position and challenging all the muscles that support your posture. Bring the hands back down to the hips. come out of your side bend, and then you're going to challenge that right leg if it's comfortable. So you can have your hands on your hips, thumbs on your bum, and just push off the back leg and see if you can balance even for a second or two on that right leg. If you can hold, good. Otherwise, just up and down. We're just looking to activate today. Feel the muscles in that right bum cheek turn on to support you. Everybody meet back in warrior two, so that back foot is planted down at the angle. Our chest is over our hips, pelvis, and we're going to lift the elbows and pull them back. Now reach the arms out nice and long. Gaze out over your right fingertips. Inhale to reach the fingers long, pull back with the little fingers, and then exhale, feel yourself press into your feet to engage the muscles that support you. And then bringing the hands to the hips and then stepping forward to the top of your mat. We're going to finish this practice bringing our awareness back to our breath. So if you're just placing one hand on your breastbone, one hand on your belly button, you're going to lift your breastbone away from your belly button, and you're going to check in that your head is over your chest and that your chest is over your pelvis. And that just makes it easier for us to breathe. Keep in one hand on the breastbone, one hand on the belly button. Breathe in through your nose. You can close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. And breathe out fully. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out fully through the nose or mouth. 2 more breaths here to finish your practice. Then open your eyes if they were closed. Give your hands a little bit of a shake out and your feet, and you're all finished your yoga practice. Well done.